Hi, my name is Leslie Roberts, and welcome to Special Transportation Requirements for Children with Disabilities. Our NCCAA mission statement says NCCAA works with partners to apply comprehensive strategies to eliminate the causes of poverty for the people of Nueces County. Our performance standards 130370A and B says this rule applies to all agencies, including those that provide transportation services, with the exceptions and exclusions provided in this section, regardless of whether such transportation is provided directly on agency-owned or leased vehicles or through arrangement with private or public transportation provider. B says providing transportation services. 1. If a program does not provide transportation services either for all or a portion of the children, it must provide reasonable assistance such as information about public transit availability to the families of such children to arrange transportation to and from its activities, and provide information about these transportation options in recruitment announcements. So basically, this is telling us that we have to be able to provide those services for our families or find a way for them. We do not provide, as an agency, give transportation to our students. If the child has a IEP in place, their IEP will let us know if they have transportation services, and that is going to be either the parent will set up those arrangements, and then they will let us know what services they will be providing for the child. 130375A and B says children with disabilities. A program must ensure that there are school buses or allowable alternate vehicles adapted or designed for transportation of children with disabilities available as necessary to transport such children enrolled in the program. This requirement does not apply to the transportation of children receiving home-based services unless school buses or allowable alternate vehicles are used to transport the other children served under the home-based option by the guarantee. Whenever possible, children with disabilities must be transported in the same vehicles used to transport other children enrolled in Head Start or Early Head Start program. B. A program must ensure special transportation requirements in the child's IEP or IFSP are followed, including special pickup and drop-off requirements, seating requirements, equipment needs, and any assistance that may be required, and any necessary training for bus drivers and monitors. Again, we do not provide the transportation. Transportation is provided by the LEA, and we have to follow what is on the child's IEP in place, just like it says in 130375B. 130374A, safety procedures. We must ensure children who receive transportation services are taught safe riding practices, safety procedures for boarding and leaving the vehicle, and for crossing the street to and from the vehicle at stops, recognition of danger zones around the vehicle, and emergency evacuation procedures, including participating in an emergency evacuation drill conducted on the vehicle the child will be riding. Most of our staff are familiar with the safety procedures for that. Again, when you're walking out of the building, you're holding the child's hand. There's always 2 staff with you. Do we want the children to run to the bus? Of course not. We want to make sure that they're safe. We're holding their hands. If you see another car coming, you're going to stop. You're never going to move forward. Minimum Standard 746-1205 says, supervising children at all times means that the staff or assigned caregiver is accountable for each child's care. This includes responsibility for the ongoing activity of each child, appropriate visual or auditory awareness, physical proximity, knowledge of activity requirements and each child needs. The caregiver must intervene when necessary to ensure the children's safety and deciding how closely to supervise the children, and the caregiver must take into account the age of the children, individual differences in abilities, indoor and outdoor layout of the child care center, and neighborhood circumstances or hazard or risk. Remember, when supervising children, when walking out of your building, you know your facilities. You know if there's a gate there. The gate should always be locked. When we leave, we open the gate. The children don't open the gate. And it's just assuring that you're supervising and guiding the children the whole way to the bus or coming back from the bus. Minimum Standard 746-631 says, must I have a system in place for signing children in and out of my care? Yes, we do have to have a system in place. Do we have a system in place? Yes, we do. We use the child sign in and out log. You must have a tracking system of each child coming and going from your child care throughout the day. This tracking system must include the name of the child, the date, the time of arrival, time of departure, and the employee's or parent's initials or unique identifier code. All caregivers must have access to the tracking system to determine which are in care during their work shift, changes in caregivers, and emergency evacuations. 746-5605 says, what safety precautions must I take when loading and unloading children from the vehicle? You must take the following precautions when loading and unloading children from any vehicle, including any type of bus. You must load and unload children at the curbside of the vehicle or in a protected parking area or driveway. You must not allow a child to cross the street unless the child is accompanied by an adult any time before entering or leaving a vehicle. You must account for all children exiting the vehicle before leaving the vehicle unattended. You must never leave the child unattended in a vehicle. What is our policy? What does our policy state? Our policy says NCCAA must comply with any transportation requirements for a child with a disability by following the child's individualized education program, their IEP, or individualized family service plan. This is to ensure that a child with a disability is adequately supervised at the approved location for transportation pickup and drop off. On a daily basis, 2 responsible staff must be available at a safe pickup and drop off location. And again, how many staff do we have to have when going out? You have to have 2 staff, not 1, but 2 people. The procedures say each child who receives transportation services must have a sign in or sign out log in the binder. Indicate the child's complete name, center, and classroom on individual bus sign in and out logs. So basically, you will have your own binder, your bus sign in and out binder, which is going to be similar to your sign in and out class binder, but this particular bus binder is separate because it will have all the children in there that ride the bus. Center staff will use dividers to separate each bus sign in and out log. Before exiting the building with a child, staff must gather the bus log sign in and out binder, which includes the bus students sign in and out logs only. Remember, only the bus log goes out the door with you with the child when you are taking the child to the bus. Center staff will gather children at appropriate times to ensure all children being transported are ready for departure. So if you know that the bus comes at 11:10 for this particular child, you know that at 11:05 you're going to stop what they're doing. You're going to wash their hands, or if they're eating early, make sure that everything is thrown away, and you're going to get them ready for departure because you know it's almost time. It's 11:10, the bus is coming. If children are departing on the bus, center staff must sign the child out in the assigned classroom sign in and out binder. Staff will write "See bus log" with staff signatures and time. And this is a real important part of this step because you have to assure that you are signing out in that classroom binder. If the child is leaving, you are signing them out. See bus log with your signature and of course the time. Prior to exiting the building, center staff will assure the warning flasher system is activated. So of course when you leave, you're going to make sure that the bus is not in motion, the lights are on, it is safe for you to walk towards the bus so that you can do the transition from staff to bus monitor. Center staff will escort children to the loading zone slowly and carefully. Center staff will communicate with the bus driver prior to loading to confirm drop-off location, how many children are entering the bus, and if children are absent. This is where you build those relationships and you talk to your bus driver. You're going to know on the first couple of days of school, okay, this is going to be the safe location. This is where we will be at. This is the time we're going to come in. Can I have your phone number? You know, in case if the student is not here, so that we can call you to let you know that the child is not here, or sometimes the parent has really good communication as well, so that you guys can be able to communicate for that child. Center staff will provide the bus driver with the sign in and out binder, so the bus driver can sign in or sign out a child that is receiving or loading onto the bus and confirm signatures and times. We need to be real careful when it comes to the times, because sometimes the bus drivers, if they're running late, they don't want to put that they're running late. But we have to use real time. So confirm the time. Okay, it's 9:32, for example. That's the time you're going to write, and you're going to put 9:32 on the book and confirm the signatures. Center staff will receive children from the bus driver or bus monitor. Center staff will ensure when entering the building that all children are supervised. Center staff will walk the children to their assigned classrooms. Center staff will sign children in the assigned classroom sign in and out binder. Staff will write "See bus log" with staff signature and time. And then the teaching staff will change the magic number when children leave and enter the classroom. And again, if you are taking children to the bus, you are signing them out for the day, right? Because they're already leaving our care. Say it's 11:30 and the child is coming into our care and they haven't been into school yet, you are signing that child in for the day, because they're barely coming into our care. And then when the parent comes for them at the end of the day, the parent will be the one to sign them out. So I know some of us were a little bit confused on that in the beginning, but we just have to be real clear. If the child is leaving from your care, you are signing out, right? The bus driver is signing them out. And then if they are coming into our care, they're signing them in. That's why we just have to be really make sure that when we're doing the transitions and you're signing the children in and out of the classroom binders, you got to be real specific, because if licensing comes and they say, okay, how do you know this child left at this time, Miss Roberts? Well, let me get the bus log and let's check the bus log. The bus driver signed out the child at 11:32, and the classroom sign in and out binder says 11:32. It matches. So we just need to make sure that we're in compliance with minimum standards at the same time, as well as our performance standards, because we just need to assure the safety for that tracking system of the child. In the event that of licensing as, we are covered. Staff will ensure that loading and unloading are two different processes. For example, children are loaded first, then children are loaded on the bus for departure. So say, for example, you have children that come on the bus, and then on that same bus you have children going. It has to be two different things. So if I'm walking out with Miss Hernandez and we have children, we are going to load those children first, make sure everybody's loaded, we get all the signatures, then you will be able to receive those children. You have to be able to separate the two different processes. They can't happen at the same time. And this will assure the safety of the children during that transition period when children are loaded onto the bus, and then when the children are taken off of the bus. So now we're going to talk about some scenarios, because I know you guys have questions, and so, most of you that were here for this current past school year and you had children that rode the bus, you became familiar with the process. And for the new staff, I know this it's different and it's new, but this is why we're here, and I love these scenarios for us. So our first scenario is the parent drops off and the bus is picking up. So what happens during this process? Your typical morning, hi, good morning, the parent comes in. And the parent, what is the first thing the parent does when they come in? They wash their hands, and then they go and they sign the child in, right? They sign that child in the children's sign in and out book. And then it's 11:30, the bus is here, right? We're already ready because we were transitioning the child. We got everything prepared. We are going to, here comes Miss Roberts and Miss Hernandez. They're ready to take the children to the bus. They're going to sign the child out at the time. It's 11:32. See bus log, and I'm going to put my signature. And then you're going to take the bus log binder with you to the bus with that particular child. You're taking Louie to the bus. Louie, the bus is here. And you're going to walk to the bus. The bus driver will sign Louie out for the day, and it's 11:32, 11:35, whatever the time is. Make sure that you have a watch so that you have the time, so that you're writing in the time, so that the bus driver is signing out Louie for the day. So you have to make sure that when you come back in, you've documented in the classroom binder, and that the bus binder is also documented as well. And just for if the children are absent, make sure that you're writing absent in the bus log binder as well, because the bus drivers don't know what line to sign on. We have to show them. So if the child is absent, make sure you put absent, because they're not going to skip a line. They're not. They're just going to sign wherever. Wherever we tell them, that's where they're going to sign. So we just got to be sure that we are helping them at the same time. So now The next scenario says that the teacher is picking up the students from the bus. So meaning the bus got there and the children are coming barely into school. So the teacher would have walked out with the bus log binder. They would have signed in the children. You walk back to the classroom and you're signing the children in, because if you are receiving the children from the bus, you're signing them in. So in this particular scenario, yes, they're coming into school at that time. Active supervision is going to be real important for us. Active supervision is the most effective strategies for creating a safe environment and preventing injuries in young children. Staff can use active supervision techniques when children are boarding, exiting, and riding the bus. Program staff must be aware of children at all times. Listen to the children and be aware to signs of danger. Managing their emotions, anticipating the children's behavior, understanding each child help the staff to know what to expect when a child is not feeling well or gets upset while waiting. When a child is upset, help manage the child manage his or her feelings. I know when school first starts, a lot of the children may be scared to go on the bus. Some of them may be excited to go on the bus because they've done it before. But you will have those children that may be crying, they may be upset. But this is where the teacher will come into play, because we need to be able to anticipate and plan and be prepared to help these children and transition them from going to school to getting on the bus or vice versa. We really need to be reflective when it comes to managing the children's emotions. We have reached the end of our presentation of special transportation requirements for children with disabilities. I know some of you may have some questions or concerns, but if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to let your manager know, and your manager can call me, email me, and let me know so that we can get some clarification for you. I know watching these videos, it's new for us, so it's a learning experience for all of us. We also have to do our training agenda. In front of you, you should have your training agenda for special transportation requirements for children with disabilities, policies, and procedures. The first question says, NCCAA must comply with any special transportation requirements for a child with a disability by following the child's individualized education program, which is their IEP, or their individualized family service plan, their IFSP. Is that true or is that false? Yes, it's true. So for number one, the answer is true. Number two, children will walk themselves to the loading zone as staff observe through the door. And of course, we all know the answer to number two is false. We do not observe through the door. We will be walking with the children to the bus. Question number three. The bus driver or bus monitor must use a signature to sign the bus log in and out binder. The answer to number three is true. The bus driver or bus monitor must use a signature. We cannot use initials. They have to sign their name. Just like we have to sign our name, our full signatures, They need their full signatures as well because that's a licensing requirement. Question number 4 says, loading and unloading can be done at the same time. Is that true or false? The answer to number 4 is false. Remember, loading and unloading are two different processes. You cannot do these two at the same time. Policy and procedure says there are two different processes. So again, this answer is false. And thank you for your time and your patience. And I hope y'all have a great school year. Thank you.